and he was going on about this master and slave kind of stuff. He said, if he helps, he can help my daughter, but we would have to become his slaves and he our master. I didn't know what that meant, and I have the emails and going through them all.
Wait, sorry. This is when
I
your
know,
daughter
it's mad.
was ill, right?
In
And
hospital,
he
yeah.
was
Yeah,
emailing
it was about a
you.
week before she died.
This is the alien being that I call Mum. It's adopted me, basically.
Mariekayali, along with Simon Parkes and Miles Johnson, were part of a Channel 4 documentary in 2013 called Confessions of an Alien Abductee.
The videos he's made, you know, slandering me again, defaming me, and even accusing me of murder, accusing me of being a Korean spy, and threatening to shoot me, all sorts of stupid things. The police have all this. So, Simon Parkes, the police have not come to see me. You have not gone to the police. I have not been warned. It's me who's gone to the police, and they are looking into all of you. The police said you can't go making false allegations. Well, again, you've made these allegations yourself. I've never said this. You made these allegations yourself. So what you went to the police with is beyond me. But I went to the police with is a pile like this of emails, texts, and everything else, and answer phone messages, posts, videos, the lot. So, so who's getting away with this?
This sounds like harassment. You know.
I did speak to the police about it. I put the calls to the police on my channel the other day, actually. I came across a long one where I explained to the police what was going on. And they said to me, this is malicious communication and you have got a case and we urge you to go with it. So he was going on about this Illuminati, you're in deep shit, they're going to get you and they're after your daughter and all this kind of stuff.
Sorry,
so he thought he
Sorry, I'm going to have to keep stopping you. Why would the Illuminati be after your daughter? What?
I've no idea. This is what he said. I have no idea why. Because I came forward about some stupid UFOs. I don't know that much. It's not like I know some big dark secrets or anything like that.
It sounds like he was getting a kick out of harassing and trying to scare you. There are a lot of people that know the truth about some of the behaviours, some of the actions that this man has taken, and some of them are dark.
Came across something interesting on Simon Parkes' website. Dad, out of my life forever. Very big thank you to Fran for making me aware of how the Draco I called Dad had been using me to attack people and women in particular. I am really pleased to say that I have expelled him from my life, and I'm very sorry for any harm or distress that he has caused others using me. What a nice man. So basically what he's saying is Daddy did it. So all these attacks on women, everything he's being accused of, just wash it away, sweep it away, because Daddy did it.
And a lot of women are coming forward to say a lot of these things. Mm-hmm. And
good.
I think that a lot of people are starting to see that it's not just one or two cases, it's a lot of these people.
And the police said there's nothing against my name, because he said I'm going to be arrested. He was telling people she's been arrested. And so I was waiting, am I going to be arrested? So I rang the police myself and asked them, is there anything, a complaint against me? And they said, no, there was nothing against my name. So I said, well, could you send me an email saying that so I can put it online and say, look, this man is lying. But I have it in the call anyway, twice, in 2 calls. Actually, one was a visit from the police. Mm-hmm. And one was a phone call. I put them both on my channel. I recorded the visit from the police when they came down. So, what about Simon Parkes? He says he's gone to the police about me 3 times, which he hasn't.
I would imagine somebody's going to be investigating this.
Can you tell me, is there a report about me to the police? Because he's saying it here in public, the police have gone to her twice. I haven't had any complaints against me.
In that case, if the police haven't been to you, he's just talking nonsense, isn't it?
Had a call from the Worcester police today, very interesting. Why are you calling from Worcester? And she said, oh no, he's made a complaint against you back in February, or he tried to make a complaint against you. I said, he tried to make a complaint against me? And I started laughing, and she started laughing. And I said, well, he's saying, I said this, that and the other. I said, he needs to produce the evidence. She said, oh no, we asked him to produce something, you know, the evidence or whatever he's complaining about, and he could produce fuck all, because there is nothing.
Now, Marie's account is quite some compelling stuff. I'm going to show the exchange of emails between Marie and Simon now. And I must pre-warn you that entwined in these emails is the story that was going on at the time of these emails, which is, it's not a story, it's real life, which is Marie's daughter obviously being very ill and sadly taking her own life. Now, this is quite distressing content, and there are links in the description for anyone who is having any thoughts of this manner, any suicidal tendencies, or anyone that has family, friends, or any loved ones that are going through such a situation. So I will show these this email exchange now. I will show her proof that this happened and the whole master slave scenario. But be pre-warned that this can be, for some, quite distressing content.
The first email.
Hi, I write to you now because I have to. It's now 4:30 a.m. At 4 a.m. I was awakened. You have sat through one of my talks. You know who Mum is. Well, he has been at me again. Lol. You also know that of late I have been getting involved with people, mostly women, who have been or are the subject of manipulation from the dark Illuminati. I am presently working with Kathy Morgan, who is in a match. Mina, the young woman from Croatia, who over 9 months I have taken from dark to light. Well, even had a boyfriend placed with her. This bit of shit was called Jim, and his job was to destabilize her while managing her. Well, he is not around now. I destroyed him. Kathy had both boyfriends and husbands who did the same. None of them were met by chance. All of them were placed or meetings arranged. Look, I don't really understand. I have learned not to ask, but around 4 a.m. I supported you. Not help to you, but to another. I have a message for you. I hope you know what it means. She returns to you. She has crossed over the gap between this world and their world of control. Call her to you, as you have been. I am assisting you, Marie. You may have felt something. You may have felt me. Who knows? I don't have anything like all the answers. I just help where I can. Simon.
Straight away, when I read that, I knew Miles Johnson had been feeding him my information. Just knew straight away. My response the next day at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Has Miles spoken to you by any chance? Question mark, Marie. Hi. No, he answered straight away, actually, 13, same, within a couple of minutes.
Hi. No. I did have an email regarding the editing of the conference he sent me yesterday. The usual Miles, short, badly written, and leaving one wondering, what's that about? Lol. Kiss. Why? Is Miles trying to get hold of us? Simon,
And I
kiss.
say, no, I meant about what happened to my daughter. And he went,
Oh, right. You mean the energy drain. I did not even know it was your daughter. All I felt was it was a female and close to you. Mantid's mind woke me up, and I remembered you, and you needed help for another. So I gave help. I was pretty clear that it was Illuminati shit people causing you trouble, and that someone close to you was being drawn back to the light, out of the void. Okay, so Miles is helping you. Well, to be honest, that's one of the last people I would turn to when dealing with dark energy, but okay. If he is supporting you, then fine. And all the very best to both of you. S. Kiss.
it's snotty that was mine. I just realized I didn't ask anybody for help. Miles just happened to call me when I was on my way to the hospital. And I said, oh, Miles, I can't talk now. This has happened. My daughter's in hospital. Something really bad's happened. So he started calling me then, in the odd time here and there, to get updates and what's going on now. And I was given, so he was actually feeding all the information to Simon Parks. So this was his awakening at 4 a.m. It was Miles Johnson who fed him my information. That's what it was. That's why I said, has Miles been speaking to you? And he pretended, no, nothing, talking about this, that and the other, about an edit. So fake. It was. Miles did speak to him about my personal information, but he was pretending to be psychic, wasn't he? I will add at this point that never contacted Simon Parks for anything, never asked him anything, never wanted anything from him. He called me out of the blue, just like that. Obviously, got my email address from Joanne Summerscales or Miles Johnson. They're the only two that had it. So he obviously went and actively looked for my email, got it from somewhere to email me especially. So the only thing I can think of, he spoke to Miles and he said, I'll contact her with this scam, whatever we're going to do. Don't know what they were planning, but they were both in it together. And it just turns my stomach to even think what it was about, to be honest. Even now, it's sickening, it really is. I never had any of these sessions that he advertises. He actually offered me, put it into my business and changed my story, which I've gone over at the beginning. So he tried to fit that in and turn it around, and it's the Illuminati against you, and this is it. This is what they were trying to do, both of them. I was too tired to argue because I was just going to the hospital, coming back, having something to eat, doing something, getting stuff ready, going back to the hospital again. I think I was going there 3 times a day because you had to leave and come back when they were doing certain things. They wanted to go out for an hour. They didn't like you there being during meals. So during meal times and things like that, you had to leave and come back. So I was in a rush from every day, coming back. So I'd answer probably the odd email here and there when I had the chance, maybe at night when I was on my own and getting ready for bed. It would have been about 10 o'clock at night when I finished everything. So I would have sat down and answered my emails, or during the day when I'm waiting to go back after lunch. So that's when I used to catch up and I think, what is gobshite talking about now? So I was just puzzled. I thought, what, these two are up to something. I can't believe what he's going on about. And I thought, just let him carry on. I'll play innocent and just find out what he's up to. And but I just stopped then when after, I don't know, it was stopped abruptly. I'll come to that in a minute. And I just stopped messaging him, and I think he sent a few emails, and I think he knew I was disgusted with what he was trying to do, and I wasn't falling for any of it. My response was, no one has supported me. I just told Miles about it. My daughter has been sectioned and she's in a bad way, Marie. And he replies,
Okay, well now that explains a lot. S. Kiss.
And I replied, I think the word support should be taken out. He replies,
Mantid would not have involved me unless dark energy was involved. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face.
My response is, you wouldn't believe what I've been through in the last 9 days. The cheeky one.
And you did not think to have a quick word with me? Why was she sectioned, Marie?
What happened was my daughter was in hospital. Her boyfriend gave her some sort of drug. She didn't take drugs or anything like that. And she was quite allergic to stuff. She was always allergic to the weirdest things, and fruit and veg and everything. So she was really worried. She wouldn't even take an aspirin. That's why I know she wouldn't take drugs. And she said he put it in her food. And then she came home and told me, and then she collapsed on the floor, so I had to call an ambulance for her. So they decided to keep her in for a couple of days, and they got the drug test back, and there was some drugs in her body. But I had to nip out and get some clothes, and she was asleep. And the nurse told me, well, look after her, she'll be okay, because I only lived about 10 minutes away, so that's why I was able to come and go to the hospital 3 times a day. So I thought, well, I'll nip home, get all the stuff she needs, and come back. During that time, she'd woken up, had a fit, jumped out of bed, screaming, where's my mom, where's my mom? That was all it was. And they sectioned her for that. She was just lost her head. And they sectioned her for 28 days. But I managed to get some private treatment, private doctor, and we got her out after about a week. But that was the worst week of her life. That probably made everything worse. It was horrible. And I've replied, the advice from Miles was, don't manufacture your own reality like this. One sentence, Marie. And I put, she kept trying to run away from the hospital, so she's got a one-to-one nurse with her now at all times. This is like a bad nightmare for me, going over it again. But I thought I need to get this out, because he shouldn't get away with this. This is what he's doing to vulnerable people and other people who are grieving or something like that. And you know, I was just stressed and busy. I didn't need help or advice. I needed more time in the day, basically. I was running back and forth, and the stress of what was wrong with Gina, and this whatever drug, she was like tripping 1 minute and okay the next, and the doctor said, oh, she could be like that for weeks, and it could, you know, might not wear off for a long time. And oh god, it was really uncertain. While we were at the hospital, she actually had 2 heart attacks, and she was going into convulsions as well while I was actually there. So it was quite serious at this time. So I was really, really worried. You know, the early days was really unbelievable. And I was under all this stress, and he was like trying to pull whatever he was trying to pull on me. I mean, how low do you have to be to do that? How low does anyone go? Does someone go? I just can't fathom it still. Even now, going back over it, I can't fathom what this man is about, what he was trying to do. I said, I'm just rushing out to the hospital. And he said, okay, I will not detain you. I can really help you unless, I can't really help you unless you want it. And I said, I need all the help I can get, to be honest.
Good. Now I can help you. When you see her, do this. Put your hand on her forehead, and in your mind tell her mind this. You will be saved. Light is stronger than a dark master. Just do it, Marie. S. Kiss. When you return, please tell me what she said. The clues to their weakness will be within. S. Kiss.
Already he's doing my head in. And I probably felt the same when I was reading it back then. My mind hasn't changed, hasn't altered. So the next email, he says to me, can we Skype? I can help you. Nothing from me. Again, he's coming on to me all the time, contacting me. And I'm just answering him politely, basically, without telling him, piss off, you weasel. So I didn't know him. It was very early stages. I just met him once before, or the year before, at the conference briefly.
She is right. Both of your souls are not of this earth. But I already told you that before. The boyfriend needs to be deprogrammed from him. This I can do. S. Kiss.
my daughter's boyfriend. My daughter was 19, she was an art student, and she had a boyfriend for 2 years, school friend, you know, they were both at college together every day, very close, and got on very well. And then out of the blue, she just finished with him and met this other fella straight away, met him, finished with him, and this other man was 30, and then she was just besotted with him. She dropped all her friends, and over time she was with him a year, and then she was dead. It was a year, and people saw her go downhill the last couple of months. Like, she was really happy at first, but then it seemed something changed with them, and she started looking thin and unwell, and that's when I started getting worried and asking what happened. And I think she did tell me he had hit her once, and she called the police, and that's when all the trouble started. She left and came home. I insisted she come home. I said, well, come on, you know, you can still see him, you know, just don't live with him. You're probably under a lot of stress. I was saying anything just to get her home, you know, and I said, come on, just come home. I persuaded her to come home, and they'd finished, and she was doing really well at this time. She was fine, taking up with all her old friends and contacting them all, and getting really, you know, went and saw a couple, a few around at the house. She had a lot of friends from school and college and all that, and, you know, for a long time. And with this guy, she hadn't seen a lot of them. So it was like that for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then out of the blue, she said she was going to see her friend one evening. I said, oh, that's great, you know, one of the classmates from school. And I knew her, and she went, and then she said she was going to stay there the night. She called me in the evening, said, I'm staying over, it's a bit late, and I said, that's fine. We were going shopping the next day, and I said, be right back, you know, early, anyway, don't be too late. So she called me then the next day. She didn't come back for shopping, and she called me, she said, Mum, I've something to tell you. I wasn't at this friend's house, I'm at Lewis's. And I said, oh no, Gina, what are you doing around there? She said, no, it's fine, it's fine. And we were just talking, we are finished, don't worry, we're not getting back together. We are finished. And we're just having a talk because he was a bit upset, and we're just talking it out, probably be home soon. And that was all, you know, she sounded fine. And then a couple of hours later, she comes in a really bad state and says, I think he's given me something. And she collapsed on the floor, and I called an ambulance, and then she was taken to hospital. And she had been given something, and he said she took it herself. She said he gave it to her. I believe my daughter, she didn't tell lies. She wouldn't have said that. She would have told me, oh Mum, I've taken something. She would have told me, but she didn't say that. He attacked her, he made her withdraw. What it was, the police had arrested him for, you know, for attacking her. They wanted her to drop the charge, and she didn't want to. And then he put this drug in her food and tried to march her into the police station and got her to withdraw the charge. And then when she came home, she felt really sick. And that's when it affected her. And whatever it was, she never recovered. She just never recovered. And they say some bad drugs do that to some people, don't they? She ended up taking her own life. One of the things that my daughter's boyfriend was threatening her with, he said he was going to get us raided by the police. He said he's going to hide drugs in the house, and we weren't there, and get us raided and get us into trouble. This is one of the threats. My daughter was terrified. She kept saying, they're going to frame us with something, he's going to do this. And I said, no, he won't, don't worry. But the day my daughter came out of hospital, we actually got raided by the police. He did put in, they said they were acting on a tip-off. And this is my email to Simon Parks. Since my last message, I've just been raided by the drug squad. They didn't find anything, of course, but they had a warrant saying I'm selling illegal substances. Now, this is my email to Simon Parks. We had a discussion about it. He knew about it. I've actually, after everything, my daughter died and everything, I took out a summons against the police. I was suing the police. And that fake raid, them acting on a tip-off when they knew the trouble we were having with my daughter's boyfriend, was all documented. Over 40 phone calls to the police. I have a lot of them on video, on recording, and a lot of the information. Police came to my house several times. I have it all on recording. I used to record them when they came to the house, so I have all the recordings of what was said, and this raid came up constantly. How dare they do that, acting on just one person phoning up. I was livid. So Simon Parks was aware of this. So he used this against me when he went up on his radio show trying to slander me. This is where he got the drugs. She's a drug dealer. The police raided her house on a very reliable tip-off, and he knew quite well the situation and was totally unreliable. He knew the situation, but still he decided to use that against me. What kind of a man is this? So this is how I exposed his lies, because I was able to put up the recording from the police of me actually complaining when they came down. The IPCC, that's the Independent Police Complaints Commission or something like that. It's changed names now, but you used to complain about the police to them. I had a complaint going with them, so they came down to my house and I recorded the session. And part of the complaint was the fake raid on my house. And Simon Parks still used this. So I was able to put the recordings up and my emails, a copy of my email, this email, and my email to Simon Parks and his emails back to prove that he knew about it, yet used it against me. So it made him, showed him what he was, showed him for what he was. He didn't know I had all this information on recordings and all that. Nobody knew. I forgot even that I had most of it on. But I'm a very meticulous record keeper. I don't even know what I'm doing sometimes. I just do it automatically. And things come in very handy, I can tell you. So I had quite a lot of recordings with the police as well when we were complaining about my daughter's boyfriend. They said they didn't get any calls, and I had over 40 logged. And, I was able to prove everything with the police as well. He said,
"Was anything found?"
And I said, "Of course not, thankfully. Gina said they'd frame us somehow. So she thought it was happening today." That's what I've just been saying. And he uses it again, look.
Okay, the dark Illuminati have turned against you.
He's asking me to Skype, and I said, I will Skype as soon as I get the chance, but I can't really at the moment. And he goes, "What about tomorrow or Sunday?" I said, okay, I think he said, I don't know what the email's missing there, couldn't find it. I said, I have to wait until she's in a good frame of mind. She's not herself at the moment, and it will only make her panic more. She's already terrified we're going to be killed, and she's really paranoid. I'm trying to rationalise things in a simple way. We're trying to convince her that we won't be killed is another story. And he says, "But she speaks the truth. Would she not feel better if she knew her mother believed her?" He wanted me to tell her about all this Illuminati stuff. Wouldn't it be better if she did? He wanted, oh my God. How, I just, I'm lost for words, as you can see. I'm lost for words. So my response is just trying to say the right things at the right time. She's not coping well at all at the moment. He replies, "What do you need emotionally? How can I support you?" I said, "I'm fine, don't worry, I'm fine." And he says,
"I'm sorry, you do need my help. I'm about the only one they will retreat backwards from."
The Illuminati. So either he's very, very evil, or he really believes in this nonsense. And I don't believe that for a second. He's a very, very evil person. Very, very evil. And I said, "Please do whatever you can." I don't think for a second he could have helped me. But I didn't want to create any bad feeling. I just didn't have the, not the guts, but I just didn't have the energy or willpower to say, "Look, sod off, Parks." I did say it later when I had the energy, but at that time I was just letting him ramble on to see where it was all going. So I started to think, what the hell is he doing? What are these pair up to now? And it did interest me a little bit just to see where they were going to go, because this is what I do. I made myself a guinea pig coming forward to the UFO people, and I knew quite well what a lot of them were about. But I thought, let them prod me, let them scan me, let them do this, see what they come up with. I want to see what shit they're giving people. And it was my way of finding out a lot of things. So although it may look like I'm naive and being led along, I was actually wanting to find out myself what they were about. And so I let them carry on and put myself forward as a guinea pig, especially for that reason. So I didn't think for a second that this weasel could do anything for me. You know, there's a few people wanted to help. Some people said they were praying for me, other people were doing this. So it all helps. I don't disprove anything, but I don't get involved. But if they want to pray for me, yeah, well, it can only help, can't it? It can't hurt. So this is my opinion. If he thought he could do something, well, let him try. It was worth a try. When you're desperate, you try anything. Not that I was desperate enough to go to him and say, please, please help me, you can do something. Didn't have a thought of that. I just thought, let him do what he wants to do, and you know, if it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No harm lost. So I thought he was going to do something like that, pray for me, or let him ask his aliens to help. What harm can it do? So I thought it was something like that, and I thought, oh God, let him ramble on, you know. So this is where it comes in now. He says,
it's not that straightforward. Your daughter has a master, brackets human. You may well have one or have had one in the past. You have to renounce the dark Illuminati and accept me as your joint master. It's the first strand in breaking their hold on your lives. Your daughter is not ready for this. She will have to meet me. You are both up to your necks in the dark arts, but I can pull you both out.
bearing in
Kiss.
mind, he knew my daughter was in hospital, in a bad state. He knew the state I was in. He knew she'd had 2 heart attacks. They knew. Miles Johnson was telling him everything, and he got an up-to-date report, you know. And I think I had one phone call with Parks, and roughly filled him briefly, so he knew the background, what was going on. I didn't have to say it, and this is why there's no emails in between some of them, because we'd probably just hung up the phone or something. You know, he knew the situation, and it's actually making me feel sick. I may have to stop for today and finish it later. Her boyfriend is her master. Kathy Morgan is as you and your daughter are. She has accepted me as her master, as have others who wish to break free.
The dark illuminate take their orders from their gods, the draconis reptiles. These are my part family. This is the link I exploit. Kiss. I seek the transfer of you and your daughter from their management to mine. While the reptiles will agree, the humans will be unhappy. But you're in so much shit now, you don't have much option. Kiss.
This is scaremongering from the beginning. They were trying to make me think the police were involved, this mental health team were involved, the doctors were involved, they were all going to kill your daughter, her boyfriend was involved. They were trying to make me think everything was against me and they were going to kill my daughter. In the end, she committed suicide, and it was because of what her boyfriend gave her. He is responsible, totally responsible, and the police didn't even question him. So I was fighting all the way through. He wasn't even asked at the inquest to answer questions. And I always found that a bit strange. He was totally responsible because he was hounding her, calling her. He wouldn't leave us alone. He was threatening us. And it was horrible for a couple of weeks. Absolutely horrible. And she did what she did because of him, because of what he was doing. And they didn't even take that into consideration.
You have to think if you ever had a master. In your daughter's case, I will have to Skype with her when you think she is ready, and you can prepare the way.
It's as if I'd let him anywhere near my daughter. I wouldn't let him near an animal, my cat, or a goldfish, let alone the most precious thing in the world to me. And I respond to him. The only master ever that could ever have been in my life is my ex-husband. His father was head of secret intelligence in Syria for many years. And his response,
You have no recollection of another? I am looking for a dominate male figure. We have identified your daughter's master. She is compelled to go to him, even though he is totally bad. It's how victims are conditioned.
She just gets worse. If she just gets worse, I will have to talk to her. And then he says, okay, you had no master. What he was trying to do, this is information gathering. He's trying to find out who I have in my life. Is there a male figure? Is my father there? My brothers? Do I have anybody around? You know, they say, who's your handler? They think, I've never believed all this shite. Never from day one. They know, Miles Johnson knew damn well I don't believe in this rubbish, all this Illuminati bullshit. Absolutely not. So I still don't get it. I said I was married for 20 years and there's only my husband, but there's no way. I was the boss in the family. I wore the trousers. I've put here, I'm quite strong-minded. My ex and his family did try to control me, I know that, but they couldn't. I mean, you know, they were Muslims, my husband was Muslim, but not strict Muslim. They were non-practicing Muslims. He says,
Well, I don't want to control either of you, but you have to accept me. I must talk to her. She will not talk to me. She will just listen to me. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
I mean, can you believe this lunatic? Can you actually believe this? How much he's trying? He knows how bad a state my daughter is in, and he's insisting, I need to Skype, I need to talk, I need to meet with her. Who the fuck does he think he is? Who on earth does this man think he is? And then he says, do you believe in me? And he says he can help me. I said, well, how do we go about doing that? He said, do you believe in me? I said, yes, I'll have to. I don't have many options. I said, maybe you can help. I didn't know what else to say, to be sort of standoffish or just... Because I thought maybe he is just being supportive. You know, I didn't know what was going on, to be honest, at the beginning, so I thought maybe he is actually being genuine at the beginning, and you don't like to be rude to people. They're trying to support you. But then it just got weird. And he says,
Not good enough. Have to and want to are a million miles apart. People get my help because they ask it from the heart, not from the brain. If you don't believe in me, then you cannot bring your daughter through this by backing up my deprogramming when I am not around, which will be most of the time.
So they're trying to say the daughter was programmed by her boyfriend, and the Illuminati didn't like that she sussed them out or something, and they were coming to kill us. And they're all mixed with aliens as well, and they know everything, and they can do magic and all sorts. Can you believe this bullshit? Can you really believe this bullshit? When I'm in that serious situation, and he's coming out with all this bullshit. And I reply, I know, I just find it hard as I've been so alone and independent for so long and not really trusting anyone or ever asking anyone for help in any way. I've just always been like that, self-sufficient. And he says,
Your choice. Free will. Let me know if/when you can totally accept me. Then I can help you and Gina, but it's already 5 to midnight, and even now I don't know if there is enough time. S. Kiss.
all scare tactics. And I say, it's 10:15, what country are you in? We've just been doing some meditating and crystal healing. She's calm and quiet herself at the moment and having bath, relief for a while. The thing is, as I said, she was in and out of something, this drug, whatever the effects were, and she was hallucinating and different things like that, like she was high on acid or something, you know. So 1 minute she was okay, and the next minute she was all paranoid and saying all this, you know, it was all her boyfriend after, and he's going to kill us, and getting really, really stressed about it and things like that. And then sometimes she'd be okay and she'd be calm on herself. It was weird, very weird. And there was nothing for a few days. I don't really take the initiative to email people. I normally just respond, and there's nothing for 3 or 4 days, and then I just got an email saying,
How is she, Marie? Simon.
and
Kiss.
I didn't reply. I left it there. I never said a word and never contacted him after that, and he never contacted me after that. And then in February, my daughter had died then in November, just after those emails, in February, I got this email from, I think, Amash, Joanne Summerscale, talking about some conferences, and it was to Simon Parks, asking about what is, as I said, he gives pre-lists to podcasters or anyone who's organising conference, and he has a list of things that he will talk about and things that he definitely won't answer. Yeah, and it's really strict. So it was about that list. And I saw it, and I was CC'd in the email. It came to me as well, and it just reminded me, this little Parks is doing a conference, whatever, and it just brought back everything. And I sent an email to them. I CC'd both of them in it, and I said, will you be touching on your fantastic master domination for vulnerable women and children when they're at their lowest, Mr. Parks? And then he obviously went berserk. He just went ballistic and he pulled out of the conference. But this is the letter. Then he's emailed me and forwarded this to me. He said to Joanne, due to this email from Ray, I will not be taking part in the conference. Oh, that's all I asked. Will you be touching on your master domination? Which was a fair question after what he'd been doing to me. And it was sarcastic, yes. No, obviously. But this is the email he sent me.
Marie, the same people that killed your daughter also tried to kill me. I did not kill your daughter. You obviously, even after all the years of mind control, do not fully understand how deeply you are involved, or how the dark Illuminati manipulate people like you and your daughter. If you did, you would understand the method I was using. Don't blame me for the loss of your daughter. I offered your daughter, through you, the only possible help that could have worked at that very late stage of her programming. When the wolf program in your daughter had become activated, there was very little time left. You refused my help. You preferred to bring out your crystals, even though I tried to explain that it was far too late for crystals. My worst fears were confirmed. You obviously don't understand how deep you are into all this. It was your choice if you wanted my help, and you made that choice. And you and your daughter were made vulnerable by the dark Illuminati, not by me. It was they that killed her, and they that make your life like hell, not me. I am truly sorry that you did not allow me to assist your daughter. After all the years of mind control, you still have no clue about them or what they do. They were able to get right under your nose and do what they did.
Sort of blaming me now. Blaming me. And he did actually blame me for the death of my daughter. He went around in circles and all his friends and connecting consciousness and told people this. He used me as an example of what happens if you don't accept my help. God.
I could have helped your daughter if you had let me. The blame for her death does not lie on my doorstep, rather on her boyfriend, who at 2 a.m. on his mobile phone was heard by your daughter to say, "She is nearly ready." This is classic mind control, wolf, and the fact you did not recognize it, but I did, speaks volumes about my knowledge regarding these murdering bastards. Your daughter was not the first, and sadly, she will not be the last. Simon.
Simon, where are you getting the idea that I'm blaming you for my daughter's death, and why are you saying that? You are nothing to me and nothing to do with this. You're a powerless nobody to me, in spite of your high opinion of yourself. You definitely underestimate my intelligence by stating I don't understand certain things, i.e. your methods. What I'm upset about is what your aim was at being my master. Who the hell do you think you are? If that were ever to happen, it would be a far, far, far better man than you. I was at my lowest ever point that I had ever reached in my life, extremely stressed out, to put it mildly, and you tried to manipulate me and Gina for whatever sick, perverted purposes, which is beyond me and everyone else that I showed your emails to. So yes, I do have a bone to pick with you, as I was weak at the time and couldn't respond, but I'm back now and no one manipulates me, especially a lying little baldy weasel like you. So yes, I do have a bone to pick with you. As I said, I was weak at the time and couldn't respond, but I'm back and no one manipulates me, especially a lying little baldy, just like that, weasel like you. If you think I got where I am by letting this happen, you better think again. I'm a lot stronger than anyone could imagine. So whatever sick game you tried to play with me and Gina, I can tell you now I didn't fall for it, and I don't believe a word you say and never have. And if you ever try anything like that again with me, you will be getting more than an irritated email, just so you know. And for the record, you did not predict Gina's death and the way it happened, and not tell me beforehand. You are even believing your own lies. For the purpose of the record, you did not foretell anything. Your only involvement was your failed attempt at manipulation of the weak. I just didn't have time to respond at the time, but this needed to be said. I've said my piece, and that's the end of it, as far as I'm concerned. Have a nice day, Marie. And that was the end of it as far as I'm concerned. As I said, I wasn't doing videos at the time. I didn't even have a channel, I don't think. Might have had a channel with some of my interviews on there, but that was all. I never did videos, never sat in front of a camera, didn't talk about anyone, never did anything. People were saying to me, you should do blogs, you should do this, you should do that. So I only started in 2018. So there was nothing was said about this. He got on about his business. He did whatever he was doing, manipulating everybody. People were writing to me in the meantime, and, you know, things like that. I was hearing certain things, but I never said a word. And then he went up on his radio shows in 2018, the end of middle end 2018, went up on his radio shows and started saying what he did. I was a drug dealer and dragging all this up again. So I was willing to forget it, as I said in the email. I said my piece, and that's the end of it as far as I'm concerned. And I stuck to that. So he was the one that started. He saw me getting some UFOs, I think, and putting my material out there. Decided to try and discredit me again. You know, this is all it was. So this is the lovely, truthful man bringing the truth to everybody, bringing all these lovely answers to questions that nobody else can answer. This is a truthful man trying to, well, what is he trying to do? What was this about? You tell me. I still don't know.
Marie, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
And I hope we can connect again. Yeah, it was really great. Thank you very much, Marie.
Okay, thanks, Take care.
Thanks. Like I say, the links to Marie's YouTube channel will be in the description. Thank you very much for watching and listening today. Follow MSEEKER of Truth. Thanks, guys.